Hello everyone, it's time for another video, and this one I'm going to stray away from the main theme of orchids, because as you guys know, the channel is not specifically orchids, but orchids make up a major part of it, and they make up a majority of my time. And so, these two things in front of you here, these are two different species of bird's nest ferns. This one is Asplenium antiquum, and this one is, it's like Austranicum or something like that, Australianicum or something like that. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I know that it's not the same as this one. And you can tell in appearance-wise they're very different as well, but they're the same genus, they're just different species. So this one, trying not to get them toasted by the heater. So this one is this was one of my first one. It's got some new leaves growing. This one's a rescue that I got that wasn't in very good shape, and you can see it's recovering. It's still not at the best shape a fern like this could be, but it's recovering. This is one of the newest leaves right here. Very nice. This one's new as well. And this one's got 2 growth points, and you can actually see right there another leaf about to unfurl and start growing. So bird's nest ferns, I believe the genus is partly epiphytic, like some orchids are, and then partly terrestrial. But they're popular around the country, and the United States, and in other countries too. And they grow very well in warm, humid environments. I do not know if they are cold tolerant though, but some ferns are, some are not. But this one was my first one. It's the Antiquum species, and this one is an interesting one because the leaves are like, they're skinny base, and then they kind of fan out into these wider leaves. Whereas its relative here, which is the Austra Australium or something. Like I said, I can't remember off the top of my head. Species. This is the classic one that you see most often. This one's got like very large, wide leaves with a very short leaf base at the bottom. This one's got a few leaves growing already. This one was the newest that's still maturing here. And then we've got these 2 growing, or unfurling. And then down in the center there, in the crown, there are 2 more. And so bird's nest ferns, like all ferns, they grow new fans that unfurl, and then they have sterile ferns, which these I believe all are, because I don't see any that have spores developing. And then they have fertile fronds, which have the spores, because ferns reproduce by spores. And so none of mine look like they've got reproductive fertile fronds. So they're just kind of growing right now. This one I just got today, and I figured why not, because I have the other one. It's a very nice plant. I love bird's nest ferns. They're one of the hardier ferns for me. The delicate ones, like the maidenhair fern, do not do well, but these thicker, larger ones do very well. Especially, and I love bird's nest ferns when they get huge, because bird's nest ferns can be several feet across easily. And they like to stay moist. I keep mine very moist, and this one actually stays in a little tray that I fill up from time to time. And I need to get a tray for this one now, because I didn't expect to get this one, but it's really wet in there, so it'll be good for a while. This one was actually part of the flood control plants, which, if you remember in previous greenhouse tours and videos and stuff, there used to be a cluster of plants over there. Well, now that I have the greenhouse inside, I can't have that and don't need it. And so that corner of the greenhouse has the heater and the fan now. But the fern, I never had to water this thing for months, because it was always soaking up water from the ground. It was growing just fine. It grew lots of nice new fronds. And it's just generally looking much better than it was. Because it was very ugly looking. Like the fronds looked like this, beat up, old, dehydrated looking, some dead spots on them. And now the newer fronds are coming up much healthier. And then this one I just got was already very healthy, so I don't have to worry about this one getting sick or anything, or being sick and having to recover it or anything. But they grow pretty quickly for a fern. The fronds get very big, and they're very like a nice light green, and they don't need a lot of light. But I keep mine over here, next to or behind the spray bottle here, which is just temporarily sitting here, because it's still bright-ish, but it's not in bright light at all, because most ferns do not like bright light, and the ones that do are usually epiphytic, or epiphytic. I keep saying epiphytic, like these 2. And so they get bright-ish light, but they're not getting direct sun, and they're certainly not like right up against the window. And they've been very happy. This one's been in the bottom of the greenhouse the whole time, and it's been growing and doing just fine. Whereas this new one, we'll see. They might want it a little bit brighter or a little bit dimmer. Who knows? I've only ever seen them grown like under trees and stuff though, so I can't imagine it needs that bright of a light source. But I just love the ferns. They don't bloom, so because they reproduce by spores on their fertile fronds. And the fronds will pretend this is a fertile frond. All up down that midrib there will be clusters of spores. I don't know what the proper term is called, but they're spore clusters. And that's how the fern reproduces. And so they don't flower, so these are grown as foliage plants. And if you guys know me, you know I'm not big on foliage plants. I tend to be very like not into them because I like flowers. And that's why I grow a lot of orchids and stuff, because of the flowers. But if the foliage is good enough, or I like the plant, it's interesting enough, then I'll tolerate it. And for bird's nest ferns, it's definitely interesting enough for me. And so I'm super happy about these. These are never found here. This one I found ages ago, like at least at this point nearing a year ago. And this one I just found today because Lowe's finally decided that they would get in a batch of them. And so they had some bigger pots, which were $11, and they were, I think, 6-inch pots with 2 plants in each. And then this one was just 1 plant in a smaller pot, and I got it on discount. It was only $3. So I was super happy about that. So yeah, do you guys grow any ferns and birds, and especially bird's nest ferns? I'd love to know, and I'd love to know what you care for them with, because I'm going to try starting out caring for this one the same way I did this one and see how it reacts. And we'll see. But if you guys have them, please tell me in the comments below. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you guys for watching.